Now, the advantages we've had, it's improved our accessibility to our electronic patient record system. We also have access to our intranet on it, and PACS, which is our radiology and imaging software. All our radiology results are available through this software, and it's accessible on these screens. The screens have a pretty good resolution. They also have a pretty good battery life as well. The battery lasts currently about 4 hours, which is more than enough for any ward round. It also has better wireless connectivity than a laptop. As I've said before, they're light, mobile, and portable. So far, both hardware and software, they have been more reliable than the laptops we currently have. And for various administrative reasons, I'm told they're more cost-effective as well. The accessories mentioned before, they have barcode scanners in cameras, which currently we are not using in our trust, but I am aware that some other trusts do use them. The barcodes could be used to scan notes or labels and bring up patient record immediately, and the camera could be used to take, say, a picture of a patient for inclusion in the electronic patient record, and has quite a good resolution as well. The microphone is something which we do use. We have been piloting some schemes of digital dictation. These work, one form works as a traditional tape would. Whilst on a ward round, we dictate into the microphone, and it's electronically transferred immediately to a secretary who can transcribe this. That's worked quite well. Another thing that we're trying is a speech-to-text system, which types directly into our electronic patient record. But for various reasons and background noise on the ward, this hasn't really worked so well for us so far. Through no fault of the MCA, however. There's a couple of quotes from some of our users that we've got. The MCA is a much better device than the mobile laptops. I've used it during consultant ward rounds, as laptops tend to either run out of batteries or lose reception frequently, needing lengthy rebooting times, thus making the MCA a more reliable multitasking device. So as you can see, again, it's alluding to the better battery life and reliability of these devices that we have found. The MCAs are great for quickly checking and ordering results when other computers are busy, and are especially useful at the bedside as they're easy to carry around in use. That's quite self-explanatory. Now, with any equipment, there's always some limitations, and this is no exception. The main limitation that we've had is the interface, which has been for us a deterrent to typing longer notes. As I mentioned before, there is a handwriting function which uses predictive text. I have a pretty poor handwriting, but I can practically scribble and it still picks up what I write most of the time. However, some people have found that for quicker ward rounds, particularly left-handers for some reason, for quicker ward rounds, they find it doesn't really recognize their handwriting well enough. And it's still not as fast as using a keyboard for people such as myself who can type quite fast. For a medical ward round, which lasts about 10 to 20 minutes per patient, it's more than enough time for us to keep pace. But for surgical ward rounds, sometimes we struggle and we have to just remember what's been said and write it up later. So some suggestions from ward-based users. The incorporation of a keyboard, either on screen as part of the MCA or as a separate unit which would dock with the power station, would make the MCA much more usable for typing longer entries and would speed up note entry on ward rounds. Now, as I've said earlier, there is actually an on-screen keyboard, but that's stylus-based. I think what the suggestion was that if there could be a touch-based one, where we could type with our fingers, or something which could slide on and off, or even a Bluetooth keyboard which could dock with a docking station, that would allow the MCA, when not on a ward round, to be used effectively as a desktop. That's what some of the main suggestion has been from our side. If the MCAs had keyboards, they would be more usable and would really help cut down time wasted waiting for a desktop to become available for typing longer notes and clockings. So that's the main problem which our users have faced. So just to summarize what we've said, the MCAs have been evaluated in our trust for about 4 months now, and on the whole, they have been well received by various departments and members of staff. They have succeeded in outperforming our laptops, and they've helped reduce our workload by being readily usable on ward rounds. The main proposal from our staff to further improve the usability would be the incorporation of keyboards. So to conclude, the MCAs have proved portable, cost-effective, and have had few hardware problems thus far. And although there is some scope for improvement, they have helped achieve their goal for what we brought them in for. They have helped reduce workload and improve efficiency, help reduce the working hours of junior doctors, help conform to European Working Time Directive, and this has all resulted in improvement in patient care. Thank you for taking the time to listen to that. I'm just going to very quickly see if I get this video working. So just a bunch of videos prepared by our phlebotomy department showing how they use these.
Gosh, we'd be lost without the MCAs, because we'd be back to waiting on the wards and to go to the next ward to use their computer, because the last ward that we were on, we couldn't get on their computers, and the samples can't go off to the labs until they've been booked in. We've missed them, the girls have really missed them. They can check on the MCAs who's where and what bloods they've got left to do. If they finish, they can go and help somebody else, rather than have to pick the phone up and try and find one of the other girls, which is our time, and which is time spent better now with patients.
Showing the way they used to work before they had the MCAs. Every morning they used to print out lists and lists of patients. And this was them at the bedside. They had to fill out the forms manually, and they had no way to actually know whether the patient had been bled already or not.
First bed in Bay One there on your left. No.
That's them trying to get at a computer. And that's now. Right, I think that's me. If there are any questions, I'll be happy to take them, or I'm not sure who's next.